Hello and welcome back to the Property Pilot. I'm not sure if you can hear in the background, but the wind is absolutely howling. It's gusting 30 knots. It's crazy. I've just landed from a flight. Interesting weather at the moment. But today we're going to be talking about how I made £150,000 off this tiny plot of land. Okay, welcome back. This is how I made £150,000 from this tiny plot of land. Now, before I go into the details, I must confess something. I actually made £148,200 from this plot of land, but the person who does my YouTube thumbnails said £150,000 sounds better. So I must apologise if I've slightly misled you in any way, shape or form. £148,200. Now, I'm going to talk to you completely from the start to the finish and how I actually did this. I bought this land for £1,800, and again, that's a story in itself, and I'll make a separate video all about how I got this land for £1,800. Now, the land had no planning at all. It was about 0.17 acres, so essentially it's two plots, and yeah, no planning. It has various trees around the land on the boundary, and some of those are protected by tree preservation orders that essentially prevent you from cutting down the trees. So, you know, when I actually bought this land, I thought, okay, I've got a good chance of getting something developed, but because of the TPOs, the tree preservation orders, you know, there was no means any way guaranteed that I'd get some planning approved on this land. So I spoke to various architects to get their idea and to get their professional advice on this land. Spoke to various local companies, and I went with one guy in the end who suggested that we build 2 5-bed semis on this plot of land. And yeah, I thought we could get two semis in. I wasn't quite sure of the sizes, but we modelled it on the house next door. So I knew the house next door sold for £320,000 the year prior. And, you know, if we could essentially copy and paste 2 of those, and obviously they'll be brand new, we can command a premium for that. So I thought that's quite a good strategy. And if I recall correctly, the size of these 5-bed semis were about 2,200 square foot per property. Now, there was also another plot of land that I haven't spoken about, which is where most of the trees actually reside. And this plot of land, I had an idea to actually build apartments on. However, with the TPOs around that plot of land, it proved very difficult and the planners weren't very keen on that. So that plot of land has been retained for a later date, and maybe I can get planning for just a single dwelling. But anyway, going back onto these 2 plots. So that was it, 2 5-bed semis. Put the planning application in. Now, as I've already mentioned, the house next door sold for £320,000 a year before, so I knew, and after speaking with several local agents, these 5-bed semis will probably sell for about £375, you know, as low as £350 each, which gave me a good idea of the value of this land should I get planning. So we applied initially for outline planning. This is where planners can give you a very overall brief yes or no on whether the proposal is actually feasible. You know, it's by no means any way of guaranteeing planning permission, full planning permission, but it approves the concepts and the idea that you're presenting. And this is really what I wanted to go for, because I was selling on this land. I had no plans to develop this land myself. I was selling it on. So this is what I wanted. Now, this process normally takes between, say, 4 and 6 months, depending on whatever documentation you need to provide. You know, it could be, I was asked to provide an horticultural survey, so I had to hire an horticultural consultant to actually undertake this survey. He comes, he has a look at all the trees and writes a report. And if any of you are looking to be put in touch with one, I've got a great guy I can certainly recommend you. He's really, really good and professional. Of course, you need other surveys done that support the application in itself. Now, yeah, normally this takes, up to 6 months, something like that, but this was in the middle of COVID, right? And it ended up taking over 12 months just to get outline planning permission granted. That's right, it got granted in the end. Now, this was a bit of a weird time for me, because I actually spent a lot of my time in this particular deal actually just chasing up the planners, chasing up Calderdale Council. I tried to get through to them. It was impossible to get through to them. They're all working from home during COVID, so no one was picking up their landlines and things like that. And in fact, I actually resorted to reaching out to the local councillors and getting their help and saying, I'm really struggling pushing this deal through. I'm getting nothing from the planners. Are you able to try and communicate with them and tell them that it's really important that, you know, they look at this case. Unfortunately, I got through to a really good counsellor, and he really pled my case. You know, at this point, we actually had various objections to the application, negative objections to the application. And, you know, at one point I was quite concerned, but really when you look at what was being objected, it was nothing that has any real logical power. It was more emotive stuff, which, you know, the planners, you know, they can't really take that on board. If your application fits their local plan, then they can't really reject it. So, you know, that's why it's really important to choose a planning consultant who knows the local plan, knows that local council inside out, and has really good connections. So yeah, I ended up speaking to the councillors. They somehow worked their magic, and within a week or two, I had outline planning approved. And within a few days of reaching out to the councillors, I actually got a phone call from Calderdale Planning themselves, apologising for all the mess and all the delays. So that was really great, and a thank you to all those that helped push that through. So outline planning was approved, happy days. Now it's time to sell the plot. So again, I spoke to a couple of local agents. I chose who I thought had the best chance of selling this land. They listed it on a Thursday, and it was sold by the Tuesday. So it was sold in 5 days. We received several offers, several cash offers, and offers above asking price. It went way better than what I was expecting. And the offer that we decided to accept, it was all cash, no faffing about, a nice clean offer. It was from a builder who planned to build both of those houses, one for his own family, and then to sell on one. So it couldn't have been a better person to actually buy this plot. And I wish him all the best in developing it out. Now, let's work out how much money I actually made on this deal. I bought the land for £1,800. I sold it for £150,000. Well, the gross profit on that is £148,000 to £200,000. Now, there were other fees to pay. So the planning fees amounted to just under £2,000. The tree survey was just over £1,000. The agent fees were 1%, so £1,500. And the legal fees again came in at roughly around £1,000. So if you actually look at the return and the hourly rate from this project is absolutely phenomenal. Now, I put 6 days work into this project, working 8 hours a day, 6 days in total to buy, get the planning, follow up and sell it. 6 days, that's it. So if you look at, if you're working on the gross profit, that's an hourly rate of roughly just under £3,000 per hour that you put into this deal. You know, these deals don't take much time, but they take a long time to actually happen. So from start to finish, this was, I think, nearly 21 months, but I only put in 6 days of work over those 21 months. And again, if you've got various deals like this happening across those 21 months, then obviously these rack up quite seriously. So it was a highly successful project, one that, you know, it really helped me, because those funds that I made from that deal, I can reinvest elsewhere and further grow my portfolio and do similar deals like this. And the funny thing about those 6 days, I'd say 2 of those days, all I was doing was trying to get in touch with Calderdale Council to get an update on the application. So, you know, I suppose in normal times where applications are processed in a timely manner, you're going to put even less time into the deal. Now, if you're looking to actually do something like this and you want to learn how to source land, and you want to learn how to actually get planning permission and sell that land, or even maybe develop it yourself, then feel free to reach out to me. I can certainly help coach you and embark upon this particular strategy, which is a highly profitable, highly lucrative strategy. Don't get me wrong, it requires a bit of your time. It doesn't require that much investment to get into it. As you can see, I only paid £1,800 for the land, but it does require some time, some skills, some know-how, and most of all, it requires persistence. So I hope you've really enjoyed this video about how I made £148,200 gross off of this plot of land. It was a really great deal. And if you've got value from today's video, please do let me know. Pop something in the comments. Please consider subscribing to the channel. And once I hit 10,000 subscribers, that's it, 10,000 subscribers, you can join me right here in the cockpit, a flight completely free of charge. We'll fly over Yorkshire and we can see the sunny skies. Well, say sunny skies, it's pretty cloudy today, but we can choose a nice day. So I'll be choosing one of my subscribers at complete random once I hit 10,000 subscribers. So really help me reach that journey, and I'll help you by taking you for a lovely flight across Yorkshire. So thanks very much for listening, and enjoy your day.